from a mysterious teaser as Emio to later being revealed as a new entry from the Tether Club. Emio, the smiling man from the Tether Club, came to be a new entry from the Tether Club series that hasn't had entry in who knows how long, because I forgot, but it's a long ass time. And man, were people pissed about this, but I was excited because I liked the remakes of The Missing Heir and The Girl Who Stood Behind, so I thought having a new entry in this series would be freaking cool. The premise is that a middle schooler was found dead with a paper bag on his head, mimicking a murder that happened 18 years ago, but also mimicking now the urban legend of Emio the Smiling Man. So now it's up to you to try and figure out what happened in this case, who's the culprit, and is this actually a copycat killer trying to mimic that 18 years ago, or the Smiling Man urban legend, or is this the same killer from 18 years ago coming back for some reason? I think the way the game was teased, having just some mysterious footage and just a name, was a great way of marketing it. I know it pissed off so many people who for some reason expected something akin to Resident Evil or Silent Hill, because apparently their idea of horror is only survival horror apparently, but I think it was great. It got made people's attention. Then the last game was advertised, which is Nintendo America didn't really do much in this regard, but Nintendo of Europe and Nintendo UK went all in on this. I love the fact that Nintendo UK made a spoof true crime podcast.
Next up, this spooky tale comes to us all the way from Japan. Have you heard of the Smiling Man?
No. I mean, he sounds pleasant.
Well, the story goes that the Smiling Man wears a paper bag on his head with a smiley face drawn on it. He approaches crying girls and offers to give them a smile that will last forever.
Oh, I don't like where this is going.
Talking about the urban legend of the Smiling Man, and they freaking took advantage of this whole entire thing, and they are the real MVPs when it comes to marketing this game. They went all out marketing this, and I think that's actually really cool. Then there's the fact that they also made the demo for the game an episodic release up to the game's actual full release, which once again put more attention, got people talking about it. And this is just, I think that everything about this marketing was handled great. And I don't care, people are like, why did you just toss it out on a tell direct? Or I don't care about Emio the Smiling Man from Tether Club's old IP. I don't care. I think this was handled great and got way more attention than if it were just something thrown out in a tell direct. There people could ignore it. Here it got your attention, and I love that. So the main game for this game, with this being an adventure game, yes, an adventure game, not a visual novel like a lot of people say, it's Attorney's also an adventure game. So the main gameplay loop would be basically how you talk to people in conversations. It's you trying to get info from people and trying to talk to them, but it's not as simple as that, because sometimes people don't want to reveal certain info, or something info maybe they forgot. So you have to keep pressing topics that they give you, but also paying attention to also how they react. Sometimes they may not say info, but they'll react to a piece of info you give them, which means now you can also like examine like their face in order to take note of this. Like, think of it as not just you just literally play a character, like think of it as you literally have been played to play the character, including the fact that there are points where you had to pretty much hit the think button on your character to process certain information that they got. The think button also has as a reminder of what was the last thing you wanted to press. So it's actually, I really like how they made changes to make the think button way more better in this game. And unlike the first two games, you actually have less places to travel to, so that means the investigation is more narrowed down rather than something like The Missing Heir where you can go all over the place trying to figure out who to talk to next. But here it's more narrowed down, so you know you're in the right area. Now it's about how do I interact with this person. Maybe I gotta show them something, or maybe they show something, they make a face, I gotta highlight that and go, hey, why did you react like that? Stuff like that. The conversations themselves are the puzzles of what you're doing right here. You gotta figure out where to get the info from them, and I really like how this gameplay loop works. I like the fact that it's trying you to be very observant of the way people react and everything, or to see, hey, this person reacted to this, or maybe I can try and jog their memory or something, or they're hiding something like that. I really like how the gameplay loop works of just trying to solve the puzzle of talking to people. I also like that you can also turn on and off having important information highlighted in red. So hey, maybe you want to highlight in red so that you know this is important, or maybe you want to be more of a natural detective yourself, so you turn it off so that way you can actually just pay attention to yourself of, okay, what was the most important thing said here? What do I focus on? I like that they give you that option in different ways of kind of playing the game. I also like how when you're playing as the protagonist and playing as Ayumi Tachibana, you also have different ways of interacting with people. Though I wish that Tachibana got more to do in this game, mostly because I feel like she's heavily chained to like a certain NPC that she constantly be associated with, so it feels like she doesn't get much to really shine on her own as opposed to more the stuff the protagonist gets to do by himself. So I wish she got more to do rather than feeling like there's this one NPC that she has to constantly talk to and interact with. I mean, she's getting information, she has help with investigation, but I wish she got to do more than constantly have to interact with this guy. But I also like the fact that the protagonist also has to interact with this person. When you interact with them is very different, unique, and I like that aspect. A new thing added to this game is the fact that you have a phone. You can use the phone to, well, call people. Thing is, I don't really find it interesting because most of the time, anytime I really thought of using the phone for something, the game would make some sort of excuse for why I couldn't. Whether it be, oh, I can't use it, I'm in a conversation when I'll just walk away or something. Oh, I can't, the battery died because apparently these characters keep forgetting to charge their phone. Or, oh, I'm at a save note. It's like, what? It's been one point where I'm like, okay, perfect time to go call for help, and the character just keeps saying, I didn't understand what's going on first. What is the point of this damn phone? I honestly don't get it. I mean, you can prank call the police, I guess, but I don't know why they even add the phone. Like, yeah, there are points where the phone's used for the story, but that was so rare they needed to use the phone for anything. Like, it's the fact that it's an entire feature, but it feels like a complete afterthought entirely. It doesn't really add anything. I was thinking, hey, what if at some points you start getting mysterious messages on the phone from somebody, but from what I've seen, nope, none of that even happens. I really don't get it. Something that I like is that often in this game, you also have reviews of what you learned throughout that section, and I like the fact that the way it's handled is generally spread across multiple different ways. Like, sometimes you gotta just answer from a dialogue choice, sometimes you have to pick from your notebook, or sometimes you have to manually type in the answer, which keeps you focused and attentive of what's going on in the case, and I really like how that's handled. Another cool thing, this entry is standalone. In fact, all the entries in this series are standalone. You can just jump on in immediately with this one and just call it a day there. Sure, there are like some callbacks you may not get, but not anything major. They feel like more Easter eggs and if you know, you know kind of things. So it's actually very cool. You just jump on in. Yoshio Sakamoto mentioned how they said that the ending of this game would be divisive, and I can actually see why. I think the ending worked and how the mystery played out worked, but I can also equally see why someone else would be disappointed. But I think it worked, and what they did was a very interesting idea of how to handle the finale to this mystery. Only thing I wish is that the jump to the finale wasn't as jarring, because I don't know, I just felt like going from, alright then, time for the next chapter. What do you mean right then? What? Huh? Final chapter? What? I just felt that kind of jarring, but honestly, I think overall this whole entire game worked, this mystery worked, and it's an interesting idea what they went for. But just know, you may not like it. I won't say it'll ruin the experience or anything like that drastic, but it will probably make you go, huh? For a good bit. Overall, I just really like Emio the Smiling Man from Detective Club. It is a great new entry. I think it might actually be my favorite just because how the finale plays out. So I think probably the one that has the better pacing will probably be The Girl Who Stood Behind. But I just really like how this game played out. I already enjoyed the game, really like the improvements they made to the game. So I'm really glad this got made because I was hoping more would be done with this after they made their Swtch remakes, and they did out of nowhere. And that also, just the fact that it got announced, and then within the next month, it was out. It was out for everyone to play. It was just out, just like that. It's just crazy. The one thing I find weird is that Emio Smiling Man is constantly referred to as a third entry, even officially by Sakamoto and Nintendo. But the fact that it's actually the fourth entry, because there's another one for Satellaview called The Past That Disappeared in the Snow, that was actually the first one we got to play as Ayumi Tachibana, but for some reason it's not really even mentioned or anything. Like, You'd think that would be the actual third entry, but granted that they're not going to remake it, and I guess they don't want to confuse people by it. But still, it's just finding weird, like this one just got left out, and now Emmy the Smiling Man is being referred to as the third entry. So I kind of wish I knew more about what's going on with that, but either way, I think Home City Clubs is great. Love that it came back. I love that it's an old Nintendo IP and just came back and freaking they did more with it. That is cool, and I hope more check it out because honestly, I feel like it's not a game that should be freaking go under the radar or be ignored. I love the way it was handled, love the way it was marketed. I know it pissed people off because they expected something else. That's on them for their wild imagination, but I think this was handled great. It got more people attention. Now it needs to get even more people attention. I want all of the eyeballs on this adventure game.